Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Kyle Henderson of BamaInsider.com coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama on Monday, January 4th. Hope you had a great weekend. Here to discuss a few new names we've added to our Alabama offensive coordinator hot board. We lead off with Bill O'Brien. Now, there was reports that Bill O'Brien was in Tuscaloosa on Sunday. It's very interesting to track all these coaching changes and the dynamics. And, you know, Nick Saban has such a pulse on all the coaches that are incoming. So when you look at Bill O'Brien, he does have a relationship with Bill Belichick, right? But most recently, you got to look to the past offensive coordinators that Nick Saban has hired, okay? So Saban has hired Brian Daboll, who was from the Patriots, and then most recently hired Steve Sarkisian, who was with the Atlanta Falcons. O'Brien was fired as a head football coach and the general manager at Houston in October and is currently out of work. According to reports, as mentioned, he was in Tuscaloosa on Sunday. O'Brien has experience at both the NFL and college level. He served as Texas's head football coach from 2014 to 2020. Before that, he was a head football coach at Penn State from 2012 to 2013. He earned the Paul Bear Bryant Award in 2012 while rallying the Nittany Lions through tough NCAA sanctions. Bryant has plenty of experience working under one of Saban's biggest confidants, as mentioned in Bill Belichick, as he worked for the Patriots from 2007 to 2011, taking on the offensive coordinator duties during the final year. All right, why it might not make sense. It's been a while since O'Brien has been in the college football coaching scene, and it's also unclear if he take a step back from head coach to being a coordinator. So we'll track that. Very interesting name that popped up most recently in Bill O'Brien. Seems to check all the boxes, right? How about this name? Jeff Lebby. Very hot name in the coaching world. Current position, offensive coordinator at Ole Miss. Why it makes sense. He's only 35 years old. And a lot of these younger coaches are coming up, just very dynamic, right? Lebby has done a fantastic job at Ole Miss on their offense. He's been sharing play calling duties with Lane Kiffin. The Rebels averaged a ridiculous 562 yards of offense this season and were led by quarterback Matt Corral, who threw for just shy of 3,000 yards and 27 touchdowns. Lebby was also at UCF prior to Ole Miss, where he tutored Mackenzie Milton. In 2019, he had the Knights rolling, ranked second in total offense, averaging 540 yards per game. So it seems like, you know, the past couple places he's been, he's just had that offense rolling. That's what you want, right? I mean, in today's world of college football, you put yards and you put points on the scoreboard. That's how it works. Why it might not work. Lebby just got to Ole Miss this season, and he seems to be enjoying riding that lane train. I mean, who wouldn't? Although he need to look no further than his current boss to ask what working with Nick Saban was like. So, you know, we'll keep tabs on that, but it's a very hot name that people have been talking about, and I think people would be really excited to have a young mind come in that knows how to continue to turn up the offense. How about this name? Chip Long. Current position, he's the offensive coordinator at Tulane. Why it makes sense? Well, he's from Birmingham. He went to North Alabama, and Long continues to be a name that is brought up time and time again in past Alabama offensive coordinator coaching searches. Long recently served as offensive analyst at Tennessee, and before that, he was the offensive coordinator at Notre Dame from 2017 to 2019. He also served as the offensive coordinator at Memphis in 2016. Why it doesn't make sense? Well, we've heard that over the last few times there's been an availability for the Alabama offensive coordinator position that Saban has reached out to Long, but for whatever reason, it just never seems to work out. All right, Phil Longo. This is a very hot name in the college football world. Current offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach at North Carolina. Same role that Steve Sarkisian held here at Alabama, right, working with the quarterbacks. Why it might not make sense. Longo, as mentioned, one of the hottest assistants in the game. After leading North Carolina to a top 10 offense this year, the Tar Heels ranked number 4 in the nation in total offense, 556 yards per game, and are tied number 6 in scoring with 43 points per game this season. North Carolina quarterback, we all saw what Sam Howell did. He made significant strides in his second year under Longo. The offensive coordinator would have even more talent, as you know, at Alabama, working with 5-star quarterback Bryce Young. You also got Paul Tyson, a guy people don't talk about. Longo would have a ton of arsenal to work with at Alabama. Any of these guys would. Why it might not make sense. Longo seems to have a really good thing going on at North Carolina. Same with Mac Brown. I mean, those guys are doing a great job at North Carolina, seem to have something going, and it seems like they're just, maybe a season away from being a real contender in the ACC. So those are the names that we wanted to bring you today right here on BamaInsider.com. Of course, we have a ton more names to go through back at BamaInsider.com. For premium subscribers, just go to BamaInsider.com and look for the Alabama offensive coaching search story on the front page. Look, whoever's getting Alabama is going to get the keys to not even a Lamborghini. They're getting the keys to a Bugatti, right? I mean, you look at the arsenal that Alabama has on the offensive side of the ball. I get it. There's a lot of talent leaving from the 2020 season. You look at the guys who are going to the NFL, it happens every single year. You date back to, every single year. Just a couple years ago, you lose Jerry Jeudy and Henry Ruggs. People are like, oh, you can't replace those receivers. Well, guess what? Devontae Smith about to win the Heisman Trophy Award. And Jalen Waddle, is one of the most electric players in college football before he hurt his ankle. Alabama signed 4 dynamic wide receivers that are coming in. Don't forget John Mechie's coming back. You have other guys on that roster who are going to continue to step up. You look at the youth of this offense, guys like Jace McClellan, guys like Bryce Young, the younger offensive linemen that are coming in, right? J.C. Latham, Tommy Brockemeyer, James Brockemeyer, Terrence Ferguson. The Great Wall of Alabama has arrived. So whoever's going to step in, they're going to have some incredible talent to work with, just like any other year. And the one factor that stays the same, while people, will be upset that Steve Sarkisian left, I thought it was a fantastic fit. We all knew he was going to be a head football coach eventually. Most were hoping it would be at Alabama should Nick Saban retire. Well, look, Nick Saban's not going anywhere anytime soon. Doesn't look like it. Still got a lot of fire left in the tank. And as long as Nick Saban is here, he's going to make the right decision to put the right coach in place, just like he's done after Lane Kiffin left, after Brian Daboll left, after Mike Locksley left, and after Steve Sarkisian has left to Texas. Now, the good thing is that Steve Sarkisian is coaching in the national title game. I think that's the positive, right? Because you keep that offensive continuity with the team, things continue to roll into Miami. Now, on the negative side of things, and just like Mick Gillespie talked about on our Sunday Night Call-In show, the timing of it, I think, is very terrible because it causes distractions. There's already been smoke that there's potentially other coaches from Alabama staff that are going to join Sarkisian. So what does that do to the psyche of the overall team? You want your team to focus on Ohio State, a team in my mind that is playing like Clubber Lang from Rocky III. You guys remember that? Angry, right? They took it out on Clemson. These guys are hungry. They're poised. Justin Fields balled out of his mind. So before you're taking on Ohio State in the championship game, this news is dropped on the entire team. Whenever you have to have a team meeting with everybody and announce that a key component of your team is leaving to go take another head football coaching job, I think these players get it because this is the world we live in. This is the world that they live in. But B, it is a distraction because you start thinking about, man, what's going to happen to me next year? The transfer portal is the wild, wild west. So I don't like the timing of it. Hopefully Alabama can get dialed in and focused and get back to the task at hand, which is being perfect on the season because the quest for the season of perfection continues in Miami. All right, thank you very much for watching this video presentation. We got Nick Saban, we got Devontae Smith, you got Patrick Surtain, you got Ryan Day, and you got Justin Fields all speaking today during a media availability. We'll have that right here on BamaInsider.com. Then on Tuesday night, we got the Heisman Trophy ceremony. We'll cover that right here on BamaInsider.com as well. Tons of coverage back on our website. Thank you very much for watching this video presentation. Please hit the thumbs up, like, and subscribe. From Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Kyle Henderson.